You talked about love. I was always impressed with Jaylen Brown and the way he approaches so many things. The way that he made sure that he interacted with the big three and tried to give some of his shine to you guys. How intelligent he is, how he's always fighting for causes. And then there's this stuff happening recently where Stephen A saying he's not marketable, Jaylen saying, show me your sources. He's had an incredible career up to this point. Now he's going to the finals. I'm just curious how much love you have for that guy and the notion that is he marketable?
I love Jaylen Brown. You know, the courage that he has on a lot of different fronts is infectious. And so, to me, I believe, winning is marketable. He's a winner. I've seen guys, guys like Kawhi Leonard, which doesn't have, a exploding personality, and he's marketable. So I believe Jaylen Brown is definitely marketable. And he put a ring on that finger, as Shaq know, he'll become even more marketable. It's really about what he does on the court, which will open up all those avenues. And so, he's tapped on the door a few times. He got to seal the deal. And once he sealed the deal, I think people will understand that, he's the kind of leader that some people love, quiet assassin. Everybody don't have to be, or everybody can't be, put it that way, as colorful as somebody, like a Shaq or Rodman or, somebody who's larger than life.
Right.
He gonna do it his way. And, maybe some of these opportunities he might not be feeling. They might be a little, beneath his standards of what he want to push. So it probably goes a little both ways in that area.
I don't know if it's Jaylen Brown's issue. It may be a media issue. And I know you've said before through the big three, you learned a lot about the media. You learned a lot about the leagues. And I think sometimes when people actually have substance to say, it's very unfortunate when they get quieted down. He might be going through some stuff that you've experienced.
In a lot of ways, he didn't take the COVID vaccine, and things like that may kind of put him out of favor with some people. But at the end of the day, authenticity rules everything. If you're authentic to yourself, it will get you through the day. And it'll get you through the night too. So I think you got to be true to yourself and let the chips fall where they may. And, whether he's marketable or not, he's still, one of the highest paid basketball players in the world, if not the highest paid. And if he adds rings to that, I think he'll be more than satisfied whether he does 10 commercials or 2. I don't think it bothers Jaylen one bit.
You were talking about like exciting new names. I thought the marketing move of offering Caitlyn Clark a contract was
just
genius.
about to say that.
And it turned into a weak debate of guys like Kenyon Martin saying, you don't understand what this is like. She wouldn't be able to handle it. What was the idea? Was it sincere?
Definitely sincere. I was just about to say it was more than a marketing move. It was a big swing. We knew adding her to our league would pique interest. It would definitely unlock, millions in sponsored dollars. It would definitely unlock higher, ticket sales, and the things that a league needs. That all boats rise with a high tide. So all boats rise with a high tide. So everybody would have benefited off of her joining the league. Now, whether she could play at this level or not, who is it? Who am I to say she can't? It's really about throwing the basketball out there and seeing what's happening. A lot of people had their doubts. I think it's a little rough, but like I said, who am I to say she can't? Especially if she wanted to accept that challenge. So it was a big swing, and we gained a bump from it for sure. But I think all of women's sports had gained a bump from that offer.
Definitely.
I think the WNBA players are even getting treated better because now there's real money out there for these ladies to play at a high level. So I think we once again changed the game and made the game better.
Do you want to maybe up your offer to Caitlyn Clark and see if, the W ain't going great, maybe she comes over next year?
Well, like I said, I would want to talk to our sponsors and our partners. If the same enthusiasm is around her and if she's commanding these kind of ratings, then, I can't say, that we wouldn't think about it.
I do think about her driving the lane and like Reggie Evans fouls her, and I would be so afraid for her, man. I would love to see Caitlyn Clark in the big three. I didn't realize when that was happening.
She would get touched up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like the WNBA girls are letting her know.
I was going to say, if I was the big three, and I should have said this to Cube, marketing-wise, I'm taking the line from Kendrick where he said, F the big three, but I'm just cutting out the big three, and I'm using that somehow.
Yeah.
2, I'm taking these clips of Caitlyn Clark, and if I'm Cube,
No,
I was going to say, I'd be like, you tired of people not respecting you, not when you play? Come on over to the big three, Caitlyn. Like, I would be courting Caitlyn Clark still.
Charles Barkley went on this rant a couple weeks ago. What was he talking about?
In terms of what? Which one?
Y'all girls are petty. Like, what was he talking about?
I think it was weird because Angel Reese thing came out afterwards with a tweet where I think she was addressing it. There seems to be, he went on a rant, some other people went on a rant. I think people are inventing women that are getting upset at Caitlyn Clark when they're not actually.
Yeah, but let's make something clear. One person may have all the props, but it's never one person.
Never.
Like, don't say, oh, we're getting new sponsorship because of Caitlyn. No, what about Angel? What about Cordoza? What about my favorite, Kelsey Plum?
Cameron Brink.
Like,
Asia Wilson, who's been incredible.
Yeah, like, so.
There's just a 3-on-3 women's league that's being launched right now. Well, I mean, women's sports are on the rise everywhere.
So I think what people get upset is, as a player, you don't want to be forgotten. Like, I remember in high school, I did everything I could. All Kenny Anderson. All Jim Jackson.
Did you ever get to
Tracy
face them?
Murray. Yes. And
when you did, how did you play?
Oh, well, MVP.
So can I tell you what I'm doing from a betting perspective? Yes. I'm not betting against Caitlyn Clark because there are times where she'll drop 30. But every time she plays another star in the W, they go crazy. Jewel Lloyd dropped 32. Asia Wilson dropped 29 and 15. I love Caitlyn Clark because I'm getting to see everyone else take their game to a whole, because they know the ratings are higher. They want to show out too.
You know what I call it? I call it stealing props. And I talk about this all the time, but when I use the J word, people are like, it's professional jealousy. Like, for example, if our podcast numbers are doing certain numbers and then a guy below us, oh, he's the best podcast ever, me and you're going to be like, what the
Yeah.
We're going
to sit in the lab and come up with some cool stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, but I just think people should, focus more on not just her, because she is a great player, but don't forget about beautiful Cordoza and my girl Angel. Angel actually called me. She was upset. Well, he didn't say nothing. I said, Angel, because Charles does what he always does. He takes up the segment, and then by the time he gets done talking to guys,
he's like, sorry, we got to get to commercial.
Yes, we got to get to commercial.